Ain't nobody's running. Ain't nobody's hiding. Nobody's ducking. I mean, Crawford's going to be right there, ready to trade blows with Canelo Alvarez. Why did you use that word war? Why are you feeling that way?
If you go down the list and ask me about tactical advantages, most of them are Crawford.
Crawford could see everything coming. He could see everything coming that Canelo threw at him. He was reading it so well. His guard was so tight as well when he was up at the ropes, when he was exiting, looking to move around.
They looked about the same size, but that was a brilliant performance. And what can you say? I mean, you got to give him his credit. He created a lot of history. He dreamt this fight. He willed it to happen. A lot of people, not me, but a lot of people laughed at him, said, forget about it, no chance against a bigger guy like that.
Following Canelo Alvarez's defeat by Terence Crawford, Stephen A. Smith had a passionate reaction. He clarified that Crawford had long desired this battle to establish his reputation. He asserted that Crawford eclipsed Canelo as the champion after proving himself on the grandest stage. Smith underlined that this was a pivotal occasion rather than merely another victory.
Division world champion out of Omaha, Nebraska. He's undefeated, 41-0 with 31 KOs. And he begged for this fight. He wanted Canelo bad because to him, it's all about legacy. I'm not speculating. I'm telling you what I know. And how would I know? It's because I interviewed him. Yesterday, we sat down. Here is my conversation with the one and only Terence Crawford challenging Saul Canelo Alvarez, moving up 2 weight divisions to do it.
Max Kellerman concurred that Crawford's performance was landmark and pivotal to his career. Max Kellerman provided a perceptive analysis of Canelo Alvarez's defeat by Terence Crawford. Moving up many weight classes and taking on a formidable opponent who might draw you into a real dogfight for the first time in your career is what he likened the task to. True confident fighters seek out challenging opponents without concern for size, speed, or power, according to Kellerman. He emphasized Crawford's bold attitude and reminded everyone that no fighter had publicly called out Bud for years. He believes that by accepting the challenge, Crawford's shown why he is regarded as one of the best in the sport.
Giving up or having to jump up 2 more weight classes and fight a guy who might put him in a dogfight, a real one, for the first time in his career.
When we get put in that position, we go find opposition to make that happen. You understand me? So when we go looking for the opposition, we're not concerned about how big they are, how fast they are, how strong they are. We feel like we got enough that we can bring to the table with anybody. That night I fought John Ruiz, I didn't care who was over there. Whoever they brought out that locker room was going to get it. You understand me? That's just what it was. And I think Bud kind of has that feeling. Now, Bud, you got to remember, has been around for a long time. Nobody called him out. You understand me? All the time Floyd came at the boxing floor, never said, I want Bud Crawford.
No one ever said his name.
Hey, all I know is one thing. Israel Mazrimov, he didn't get it. He barely lost.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, but nobody called his name.
Shakur Stevenson has consistently shown his respect for Terence Crawford. However, Crawford's remarks gained even more significance following his decisive victory over Canelo Alvarez. Shakur clarified that Crawford not only fulfilled all of his pre-fight promises, but he also demonstrated why he is so highly regarded. Stevenson said that he had studied Crawford's discipline, style, and philosophy since the beginning of his own career. Shakur was reassured by seeing his idol achieve such a monumental feat that brilliance is a result of years of practice and dedication. In addition to being a champion in the ring, Crawford serves as a role model for him and sets the bar high enough for aspiring fighters to follow.
Cook Canelo. Said he was going to outbox him. He did exactly what I called years ago, and tonight he proved that he's the greatest boxer to ever live.
Well, in the interview that didn't work, you said you felt like going on a run watching that tonight. How much inspiration can you take from someone like Terence?
I take everything from him. I've been around him since I was a kid, and just watching that greatness.
Stephen A. Smith considered Terence Crawford's level of resolve going into the Canelo bout. He clarified that although some boxers could have asked a celebrity like Canelo to drop to a lighter weight class, Crawford insisted on entering Canelo's sphere of influence at 168 pounds. Convenience was never the problem with Crawford. It has to do with legacy. Stephen reminded the audience that Canelo Alvarez, who has won numerous titles in various divisions, is still among the best boxers in the sport. Crawford's desire to claim greatness on the most challenging stage imaginable was demonstrated by his unwavering pursuit of what Canelo had at this weight class.
31-0, Molly, with 31 knockouts. He's taken on all comers. I asked him, you're moving up in weight. Why would you not try to get Canelo to come down from 168 to 160 to meet you halfway, since his last fight was at Crawford's last fight was at 154? Crawford said, I want what he has. I want to go take it. I don't want to make, I don't want him making concessions and alterations. I'm coming to take what he has. And you look at him, and no one believes that he can't pull it off. He can box, he can punch, he's smart, he's elite, and he wants Canelo. He begged Canelo for this fight.
Adola Depot emphasized the significant shift in popular opinion towards Terence Crawford. Critics disregarded Crawford prior to the bout, arguing that he was too young, too undersized, and unprepared to face a heavyweight champion like Canelo Alvarez. Many of those same voices, however, were ready to congratulate him after the battle for overcoming their earlier skepticism. Aide underlined that Crawford merited all the accolades because he won in the most challenging manner imaginable. It wasn't easy to rise from lesser categories and then take on a powerful person like Canelo. The risk was huge. Crawford demonstrated that technique and pure willpower, rather than stature or age, define him by decisively defeating Canelo.
Crawford did it again a few hours ago against Canelo. And what makes it even special or more special for Crawford is that he did it jumping up, as we know, a couple of weight classes. He did it against one of an all-time or another fellow all-time great. And he did it against someone who was undisputed and still a pound-for-pound top 10 guy. That's what Crawford did, people. So, all those things people were saying in the lead up to this fight, Canelo's going to be too strong, Canelo's too experienced, Crawford's going to be 38, all that. You have to remember all of that when you give Crawford his flowers. Like, don't like, oh, well, Canelo looks old. No. I don't want to hear any of that. I've started to see a few people on Twitter start to kind of sort of find excuses already. No. Remember everything you said, because Crawford deserves all of that. All of that. Crawford was incredible. Honestly, in the pocket, he was at times showing Canelo, no, I'm stronger than you. I'm going to bully you. Oh, you think you're going to get me in the clinch because you're Mr. 168? No, look at the size of me. I'm jacked as well. I'm swole. And he was moving Canelo around. So by doing that, he got his respect. He didn't switch to orthodox once, stayed in the southpaw stance because he realized early, oh, Canelo don't like this. Canelo does not like this southpaw stance. Canelo's tripping over himself. I'm going to stay here. I'm not going to switch it. No, I like this work. I'm going to stay here. On the ropes, it's like, okay, come in. Because when you come in, I've got that as well. And I can hurt you as well. Spinning off the ropes. His jab was fantastic. They put up the jab numbers. He was out jabbing Canelo it was almost like 10-1. Maybe even 20-1. It was fantastic. And when he needed to land those power shots, he was landing those power shots. It was an incredible performance.
The Wade Concept analyst supplied a vital perspective by shutting down the myth that Canelo's loss might be regarded as the decline of a fading champion. He emphasized that age cannot be used as a justification for Alvarez's loss, because Crawford is actually older than Canelo. Furthermore, Canelo had definite advantages in the division in terms of weight, power, and comfort when he entered the ring. Crawford still defeated him in spite of everything. WDE stated that Crawford's elevation to a new level was the reason for this victory, rather than Canelo's decline in skill. By tearing down the justifications, he reaffirmed that Crawford's victory was genuine, historic, and authentic.
More tight, more fundamentally sound. While Canelo, even when he was able to get to range, which wasn't a lot, it wasn't often, he was having a hard time landing clean because everything was super wide and out here and to the body out there. And Crawford would either circle out to that same side, to Canelo's lead hand side. He would circle away because Canelo would step straight to Crawford and chase him and not necessarily cut him off. And even when he threw that hook, I was looking for the hook from Canelo right hand as he stepped through, right? Corral with the lead hand, bang the right hand, because you're fighting a southpaw. So yeah, your jab may not be as effective in landing and managing distance and all those things, even though for Terence it kind of was. For Canelo, I was expecting a lot more of that right hand down the middle and over the top, and him jabbing his way, feint jab right hand, and then that lead hook that I thought he would be able to corral Crawford, because Crawford did want to move away from Canelo. He did. He wanted to move away from that power hand. Smart to do. Canelo never took that extra step to step outside of Crawford's lead foot. Again, that orthodox southpaw matchup. It's always going to be a battle of that lead foot. He never took that next step to get outside of that lead foot and then step through Crawford, step to his left where Crawford was going and land his right hand. He just felt like he was falling off to his right with his right hand, and once he fell off to his right after he threw the right hand, there was no follow-ups because he was off balance, and Crawford was out the gate and circling back to reset the action. This was a masterful display from Terence Crawford. And again, I looked at this fight, and I don't want to do the thing where I said, oh, Canelo's washed, he's over the top, he's old. Terence Crawford's older than Canelo. Is he as weathered as far as fights are concerned? No. But you can only do one thing when talking about this fight, and that is give credit to Terence Crawford. If you want to say Canelo looked old, that's fine. That's on you. I'm not going to say that.
Former world champion Carl Froch examined Crawford's change in strategy during the middle rounds. Froch claims that after the 6th and 7th rounds, Crawford understood he had to step up and exert more control over the bout. His jab turned into the tool that created openings, disrupting Canelo's rhythm and putting him on the defensive. Crawford's intelligence in recognizing when to change his strategy was commended by Froch. Crawford took advantage of the situation to assert himself more forcefully rather than letting the battle drag on.